Hey, what's up, everybody? Before we kick off this movie, I just gotta say that this channel needs your support. Seriously, please show some love with a like and a comment, cause it takes forever for the video to pop up, and that's cause we ain't getting enough support. The movie begins with Billy Rosati, nicknamed the Handsome Guy, arriving at his boss Gaida's party. The gangster hates having his face touched. Even while talking to the boss, he can't tear his eyes away from his reflection in the mirror. Billy is planning to arrange for a biological weapon to be delivered to the port. The boss believes that Billy is just as crazy as his brother, who is rotting away in a mental hospital. Frank Castle arrives at the party without an invitation and takes out the guard at the entrance. The Punisher turns off the lights and appears before the guests with a flare. With one move, he cuts off Gaida's head and snaps his wife's neck. Frank methodically kills one gangster after another. When the lights are turned back on, he is hanging upside down from the chandelier. Spinning, he wipes out the arriving security detail. A couple more accurate shots, and there is no living soul left in the ceremonial hall, except for Castle. Two police officers were watching the mafioso's house. After the massacre, one of them wants to arrest the killer, but realizing who is standing in front of him, he throws the Punisher the keys to his car so he can catch up to Billy Rosati. Parkour runners, led by Magniti, jump to the Handsome Guy's lair. They work for him as messengers. Frank quietly takes out two guards and breaks into the warehouse. Then he unknowingly kills FBI agent Donatelli, who was embedded in Billy's gang. The Handsome Guy runs to the sound of the gunshot, and after a short scuffle, he falls into a glass shredder. Castle starts the mechanism. The gangster spins in a whirlpool of popping bottles and starts screaming in pain. Reinforcements arrive, so Castle has to retreat. The Punisher finds a wiretap on the agent and only now realizes he killed a good guy. The arriving colleagues arrest all the gang members. After getting the job done, Frank returns to his lair through the subway tunnel. FBI agents find a piece of flesh named Billy among the shards. The mafioso is still breathing, unlike Agent Donatelli. His wife and small daughter weep over his grave. Castle also shows up at the funeral. The black agent Budiansky promises the widow that he will get the murderer of her husband because they were partners before. Frank himself bows over the grave of his wife and child. Budiansky comes to the police station. The agent is outraged. This vigilante has been doing whatever he pleases for 4 years. The cops are doing nothing to catch him. The Punisher's division, I think, can fit one more person. Room 12, in the basement. Budiansky is sent to the basement. Martin Soap, the only person working on the Punisher case, was previously exiled there. The man has been following Castle for the last 5 years. Frank was an instructor in the Special Forces and a simple family man before. But one day during a picnic, the family unwillingly witnesses a mass execution. They were also shot. Only Frank survived. And since then, he has been wiping out all the criminal families in New York. It turns out that this entire huge archive is dedicated exclusively to the Punisher's murders. Micro, his associate and arms dealer, visits Castle. The Punisher is going to retire because he killed an innocent man who was just doing his job. The Handsome Guy, Billy, is released. Although he was lucky to survive, his entire face is wrapped in bandages. The gangster consults the best plastic surgeon in New York. Your facial muscles, tendons, bone structure, everything was destroyed. Come on, take the bandage off faster. All right, Billy is still optimistic, but his henchman, Ink, vomits when he sees the boss's face. The surgeon used polymers, titanium plates, and even a little horse skin. Billy is dissatisfied with his work, so he leaves a negative review in the form of scissors in the surgeon's brain. The Handsome Guy plans to deal with Frank Castle first. His deranged brother, Jimmy, will help him with this. By the way, Billy is no longer Billy. From now on, call me Jigsaw. Looney Jim is restrained to the bed with his hands and feet. He is constantly kept on tranquilizers and spoon-fed. Who is it? Dr. Basner, open up. Surprisingly, Looney Jimmy even likes his brother's new appearance. Jigsaw orders all the patients to be released from the mental hospital, and his little brother will now have some fun with this fat doctor. The cannibal is going to devour his kidneys. Frank is tormented by remorse. He visits Agent Donatelli's house. The widow immediately points a pistol at the uninvited guest. The woman realizes that the killer of her husband is standing in front of her. He brings a bag of money here. The Punisher is ready to take a bullet, but Angela never pulls the trigger. She also refuses to take the money. The gang shows up at a hotel. The mafioso, by habit, looks in the mirror, forgetting that he is not the handsome guy at all anymore. Jimmy promises that his little brother will never see his reflection again and starts smashing mirrors with his own body. Jigsaw tries to do business with a guy from Eastern Europe, but when he is told to go away, the gangster slits the bandit's throat. His friend is more agreeable. Christou will deliver the biological weapon to the port to sell it to the Arabs. Jigsaw demands $12 million for his mediation. Castle stops by Micro's house and declares that he still intends to retire, instead disappear. However, the Punisher does not consider that the handsome guy Billy will want to deal with the rat's family. He is going to cut Donatelli's widow into pieces. Frank agrees. He must finish what he started after all. The bandits are just visiting the house now. Frank does not know this. He is going to get to the handsome guy through the leader of the parkour gang. Frank kills another Yamakasi and shoots Maginiti in the knees. He falls off the roof and starts begging Castle not to kill him. He readily reveals that the mafioso went to Angela's house. Budiansky and Martin are also tracking the parkour runners. They see Castle executing Maginiti. Meanwhile, the thugs break into Angela's house. The handsome guy had given all his money to the agent just before the raid and believes it is now stored in this house. Budiansky points a pistol at the Punisher, but immediately gets a good beating and is left without his weapon. Nevertheless, the bald man is not going to back down so easily. Castle has to smash his head through the car window and slightly drown him in a puddle. But the persistent cop still manages to handcuff himself to Castle. The bandits smash up the house, but still do not find the money. Two patrol officers drive up to the house. Looney Jim opens the door for them. He starts beating the cop with a baseball bat. Ink stabs his partner. The bandits search the entire house. Angela only now admits that they have a safe upstairs and dictates its code. Budiansky drives up to the house. Castle offers his help, but the agent orders Martin to take him to the police station. He is going to act alone. Release me. Pulling out information is one thing, but letting you go, all right? The FBI agent has to immediately throw away his pistol because the bandits are holding the family at gunpoint. Meanwhile, Jigsaw opens the safe and flies into a rage when he sees that it is empty. Someone breaks a window. Ink goes to check and is killed by the Punisher with one blow. Budiansky disarms Pizzo. The Punisher, however, just blows his head off with a sawed-off shotgun, after which he escapes with the family. The brothers open fire on the bald man. Martin comes to his rescue. They arrest the criminals when they run out of bullets. Try to explain to me how Frank Castle managed to escape from your locked car. Well, Castle is like that. Castle brings Angela and her daughter to his lair. Only here can they be safe. Grace opens a box and finds Frank's personal belongings, his daughter's and wife's belongings. The Thug brothers are taken to the police station. Senior Agent Miller also shows up here. The delivery of the biological weapon is supposed to happen today. Only the handsome guy knows where it will take place. The mafioso demands freedom and money, otherwise half of New York will die today. The FBI agent makes a deal. As soon as the brothers see the poison, the police and FBI immediately raid the place. Miller turns out to be a good guy. He not only leaves the brothers $12 million, but also provides a dossier on Micro. This was another condition of the deal. Castle orders the righteous bandit Carlos to look after the family, and he goes to Micro's house. But the merry little brothers got there ahead of him. A bound Micro is lying in their back seat. Castle finds a mess in his house and a dead mother who only has the left side of her head remaining. The thugs also find the Punisher's lair. Looney Jim hacks Carlos with an axe, so there is no one left to protect the mother and daughter. The Punisher is late again. A note is nailed to Carlos. Jigsaw will exchange his life for the lives of the hostages. The Punisher finishes off his comrade so he does not suffer and shows up at the church. There he meets Budiansky. Frank finds out that the gangster has full immunity, so the police will not help them. But Budiansky can ignore the system and save his partner's family. Jigsaw needs an army. He visits everyone the Punisher managed to offend, stops by the ghetto for the black guys, talks to the guys from the Triad, and then treats the bald Irish guys to beer. 3 armed groups show up at the criminal boss Frank's hotel, but Castle is armed and very dangerous. Budiansky asks Martin to help him and the Punisher. They both go to Tiberius, Christou's father. The man will probably want revenge on the bastard who put his son away for life. 3 armies prepare to defend one building. They have a very serious arsenal of weapons for this. Jigsaw holds the hostages in a former sauna. Tiberius's people also show up here, not empty-handed. Who is this old man? Christu's father, a nationalistic maniac. The man gathers the Asian man, who also came for the Punisher's head, and he is led inside. Frank decides to spare Budiansky, so he knocks him out. The last gang pulls out Kalashnikovs and opens fire on the Chinese from all barrels. The Punisher waits a little and jumps into the hotel from the adjacent building. This floor is occupied by the Nazis. Frank methodically fills them with bullets. One of them manages to wound the Punisher in the back. The man catches his breath and finishes off the remaining gang with 2 Berettas. In this way, he manages to climb 1 floor higher. There, the guys from the ghetto are waiting for him behind the wall. Looney Jimmy realizes they are left without cover and personally runs to deal with Frank. Another group of black thugs is waiting for the Punisher around the corner, but he does not seem to even notice them. But Jimmy attacks him like a mad monkey. The lunatic bites Frank and knocks out his pistol. The cannibal promises to bite off his manhood, but for now, sinks his teeth into his neck. The Punisher shakes the little guy off and starts smashing him into the toilet stalls. He throws shards at the enemy and runs back to his brother. Castle, unfortunately, can do nothing. Looney Jimmy points a pistol at Grace's head. The Punisher has to throw his gun on the floor. Jigsaw picks up the pistol and fires all the bullets at the Punisher except for one. He returns the weapon to Frank, offering him to kill either Micro or Grace. The gangster will release the other hostage. Frank, she is a child. Shoot me. Frank aims at his friend, but sharply turns the pistol and kills Jimmy. Jigsaw shoots Micro, but only him because Castle is already nearby and starts beating the villain with his bare hands. Frank is distracted to release the hostages and then continues the execution. He stabs the handsome guy with a spear and then burns him alive. Overall, all the good guys survived, except for Micro. Budiansky asks Frank to leave. He will not arrest him. Angela finally forgives the killer because even her late husband claimed that the Punisher is a good man. Martin wants to buy Frank a beer, but he does not notice that Frank has disappeared. I am not a fan of deadly fights. Frank? Some thug points a pistol at Martin and demands his wallet. The Punisher is still not ready to retire after all. Well, that is great now. I am covered in criminal brains. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.